Hello everyone, I hope you're all well on this Monday. I thought I would pop by and create a video for YouTube. I haven't done a video for just over a week now. It's taken me a while to get back into the swing of things. I've been actually doing a lot of gardening, so I've got quite a lot of work to do in the garden and I've been concentrating on that, and I've probably got another week's worth of work that I need to do. But I just thought I'd take a break, and I haven't created a card. I've been doing journaling workshops, so I'll just show the page that we did recently, which of course I haven't got ready. We did this one, so this is a workshop. This page is, I've got my iPad in the way, so we did this one as a workshop, and you can still join these workshops. The workshops are pre-recorded and you can still join them. So I'm just finding the recent one that I've done. I've done that many. We did this one as a pre-recorded workshop as well. So these are all available as pre-recorded workshops. If you email me, if you want to join, and then I can add you to the workshops. The workshops are £15 each, and I go into great detail recreating them, etc. And this is the one I've just created, and this is another pre-recorded workshop, and this is workshop 57. I thought, you know, it's remembering all the names is the hardest bit. I have to write everything down or else I forget everything. So this one is called a mixed bag. It's called a mixed bag journal page, and it's workshop 57. But if you want to join any of the workshops, if you join my Facebook group, all the details are in there. I'll just show you the Facebook group on my iPad. So if I go to Facebook and I put in Tracy Evans Craft Addicts Create, Share and Inspire. That's our group, and in there I've got a list of the workshops should you wish to join. So if you wish to join that, I've got a list there. I just thought I'd mention those because I have been asked by a couple of people on YouTube how they get to follow me in my group and how they get hold of the workshop details. So I didn't want to waffle on too much about that before I get on with my project. Right, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use these stamp sets. I'm going to use stamp set 537, which is Artful of Circles. Artful of Circles. I'm going to use those, and I'm going to use my Through the Meadows stamp set. And I'm probably going to use my Reckoner Digits as well. That stamp, again, another stamp that always stays on my desk. And what I've got is I've got a piece of white smooth card, and it's 3.5 inches in width by 8 inches in length. So 8 inches in length and in width 3.5 inches. And I've got 3 colours. Now, I actually use peacock feathers quite a bit, but I recently got the prize ribbon, and I did use that in a previous card that's on YouTube, which is just the previous video, so you can catch that on my YouTube channel. It's just the next one down. And I did use the prize ribbon, but I wanted to use the prize ribbon mixed with a couple of other colours. So I've got prize ribbon, peacock feathers and salvage patina. And salvage patina was a recent release as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of kitchen roll just to protect my card, just so that I don't blend and then put my fingerprints on there. It's not going to matter too much, but just so I don't put my fingerprints on there. And I've got a piece of cut and dry foam for each colour. So I'm just going to take the lids off. Now, you can use your ink blending tools, whatever you want to use. A lot of the time, I do tend to use cut and dry foam because I can wash it and reuse it, and it lasts quite a long time. So the first thing you need to remember is this is a fresh piece of cut and dry foam. And the one thing you need to remember is if you want to get a good blend, you can't rush this. What you need to do is make sure that you get a good layer of ink. You prime that cut and dry foam, or you prime your ink blending tool, and you apply a good layer of ink onto the cut and dry foam. So you work that ink into your cut and dry foam, and make sure that you work it in there so that you've got a good layer of ink. And what I'm going to do is do good old blending. And I often find if I'm a bit stuck for inspiration, or I haven't had the motivation to start creating, what I tend to do is I'll use my oxides or my inks, and I'll just blend some colour. And what I like to do is I like to go over a couple of times just to get a really good rich blend. So I will go over several times. So that is the Salvage Patina, a beautiful colour. And I'm not going to touch that with my fingers. And then what I'm going to do is take my peacock feathers, again, a blank piece of cut and dry foam. And I've done that on purpose because I've had a couple of people who say that they can't get a good blend, whatever they try. And often that comes down to the fact that you haven't got enough ink on your cut and dry foam or your ink blending tool. The oxides do blend a little bit easier than the inks. And what you need to do is you need to relax into it. Sometimes we get a little, I get a little tensed up when I'm blending, and you just need to relax into it. You don't want it to make your arms ache. So I'm just going to go over with the peacock feathers. So just blending over with the peacock feathers. And we get rid of the line quite easily by going over with the lighter colour. So I'm just getting a little bit more of that peacock feathers and just blending it over. And we will get rid of the lines because we'll go back over the blend. This isn't all that you do. It just takes a little bit of work just to get that blend just how you want. So I'm just blending it over. And what I'm trying to do is relax my arm, because I do it myself. I do it exactly the same as everybody else. My arm gets a little bit tense, and then your arm starts to ache. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. You want to relax into it. So there's my peacock feathers, and it doesn't look like nothing at the moment. We haven't got that perfect blend yet. And then what I'm going to do is go to my prize ribbon. Again, a new piece of cut and dry foam. Just apply that ink to the cut and dry foam. And it's still not primed enough, so you just need to add more ink to that cut and dry foam. Just work it in to the cut and dry foam. So you do need to make sure you've got enough ink on there, and then go over with the prized ribbon. A beautifully rich colour. When I use it for stamping, or I use it with some of my stamps, when I actually stamp with it, it does remind me of china. You know, bone china. I am from the potteries anyway, so we manufactured a lot of china, so it does remind me of that. So what I want to do now is I want to take a wipe. Now on your non-stick craft sheet, there's nowhere to put that. Just move your card, and you've got all this ink on here. Now I don't want to pick that up because I don't want to mix different colour inks into each one. So just turn that over. And what I'm going to go now is go back, I keep forgetting the names, to Salvage Patina. And I'm just going to go over those lines, just so it's more blended. So just go over the line just to blend that out. Like so. It just looks more blended. And then I'm going to take my peacock feathers. and I'm going to go over the line. So just take a bit of time just to blend those colours. So you go straight over the darker colour. And you just continue to blend it just until you've got that beautiful blend. I just work it a little bit more just to make sure that I've got that beautiful blend. And if you want your colour blended a bit more further down, then blend that a bit more further down. You're not going to get a beautiful blend without adding layers of colour. It's like anything really. When you add the layers, you get a beautiful blend. So I've got a blend that I'm happy with there. Let's just put these lids on my oxides. Let's be good for a change, which does make a change for me. Just move those out of the way. And then I'm just going to take my stamp. So we've got this Artful of Circles. And I need an acrylic block. There we go. I'm going to use the border acrylic block. I'm going to place this on here. I love making these DL cards or longer cards, whatever you want to call them. I love making these kind of cards. Now I'm just making sure I've got a new ink pad. I know I've written new on there, so I know that it's new, because I do use an old ink pad as well for different techniques. So I'm just making sure I've got a little ant on my desk joining me. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I add a good amount of ink. There's no point rushing this. You really do need to add a good layer of ink. So just tap gently over your stamp and make sure that you've got a good layer. And then I'm going to turn this on the side this time, just because it makes it a little bit easier for me. It's up to you how you stamp it, but just on the side is a little bit easier for me. So I'm just going to, it doesn't have to be bang in the centre, just thereabouts. And I'm just going to press that onto there. Now I'm not pressing too hard. I'm not pressing so that my wrists hurt. I'm just pressing, you know, reasonably, with a reasonable little bit of pressure, but not so that it makes my hands ache. Now, I always do this before I actually lift the acrylic blocks. I don't lift them. They are flexible, but I don't lift them initially. What I do initially is allow that ink to rest on there, and then I lift the acrylic block, because it's this area here that we often miss. So it's just making sure that we get that area there. And then I still don't lift that up. I still allow that to rest. But this is why you need a really good ink pad that's got a good open time, which means it stays wetter longer and therefore gives you a beautiful image. And just look at that. Just gorgeous, gorgeous image. Just love it. And what I'm going to do is grab add some dots to my hand, and then just add some splatters, good old splattering, to my card. And I'm just going to allow that to rest, just so that the moisture reacts with the ink. Because as we know, these oxides, or you may not know, these oxides are reactive with moisture. So they react with water. So I'm just allowing that to react. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just allowing it to take a few moments to react. And then I'll just dab. And you'll see that it picks. Obviously the darker colour you can see a lot more. There we go, and we've got our bleached out areas. And if you wanted to, you could even bleach out areas from the stamp. So, for instance, let's just grab, have I got one that's got water in? It does help if it's got water in, doesn't it? Let's make sure we're not adding another colour. But you can literally take your water brush and you can bleach out some of the colour even more if you wish. So you can bleach out that colour and you're going to see more on the darker blue because that's a darker colour, so it'll bleach out quite easily. Let me just, so can you see that you get, it bleaches out the area. So if you wish, you can bleach out some more of that blue if you want it to look more bleached out, but that just looks lovely. You can even do it, let me just make sure that's clean because I don't want to add any. You can even do it with the lighter one as well. You can bleach that out even more. And if I use this bit of my kitchen roll, you can see that it bleaches that out, and it bleaches out even more. So if you want to add just a little bit more interest, you can bleach it out a little bit more, just so it looks a little bit more bleached, a little bit more. We're just adding more detail. I'll probably add a lot more anyway, but as you can see, it bleaches out. So that just gives me the nice bleached out effect. And we'll just let that rest a little bit while we just stamp something else. So I don't need this one now. I don't need this stamp set now. The hardest bit is getting them back onto your plastic. So just place that back. Aren't I being good and placing the stamp sets back? That's only because I don't want to get them lost. I end up looking for them for hours on end. So I'm going to take my butterfly. Don't know what that is on there. I'm going to take a piece of white card and just stamp that butterfly. Now I'm just going to stamp it in black and white. Because I think the black and white will stand out against the colour. Again, still giving that a really good ink, and I can use it as is. I don't need to use the acrylic block just to get the butterfly, because it's not like I need the whole image, but this is like a border stamp in itself. So I can just get that butterfly. It's going warm again. I can feel how warm it is. So there's our beautiful butterfly. Just place that on there because I probably want the number anyway. Just going to give that a blot. I will give everything a dry. Just make sure that's okay, and we'll just go over this just to make sure that that is dry. It's just worthwhile making sure that everything's dry. You don't want it to smudge after you've just done it all. And then I'm just going to cut this butterfly out. Not bothered about the antennae because I'm going to put something on there anyway. So just cut that out. Yes, it's definitely gone warmer, I can tell, all of a sudden. But my husband said that it's supposed to be very warm over the next few days. I like it a little bit cooler for gardening. I can get a lot more done. When I get too hot, I have to stop. So I'm just deciding now whether I want the one butterfly, which I'm probably going to put there. Yes, I am. So that, let me just look through that through. Yes. So I'm probably going to add that there. And then what I want to do is I want something round. So let me see what I've got that's round. Quite big round. Here we go. We've got this jar. It might be a little bit big. No, maybe not. So I've got this wire. And what I'm going to do is just wrap the wire around the jar, just so that, not that I can hold it properly. Come on, Tracy. There we go. I'm going to wrap it around the jar just to give me, I was going to say to give me the shape, but hang on a minute, I can't get hold of it properly. That's better. That's better. So just wrapping around the jar, just so that it gives me a circular piece. Now let's just have a look at that. Just take that off the jar so that it's sort of round. So I've got that round shape. Can you see that through there? Yes, you can. So I've got a messy round shape, which is what I want. Just need to find the end. There it is. Just find the end and just wrap that round, just so that it stays. There's the other one. Do you know, it took me ages to find that. So just wrap that around, just so that that's it. It's going to be too, no, it's going to be too, that's too big. That's going to drive me mad. So I'll do it the other way. I was thinking I needed it quite that round, but obviously I don't. Of course, I've now knotted the wire up. I'm determined not to waste this wire. That's a little bit too big. So let's just, there we go. So take this wire again. Oh yes, let's get it all knotted up. And what you wanted to do was watch a video. I'll start another one and I'll use that later. What you wanted to do was watch me do a video of just creating wire pieces, but I'm a bit pernickety and it has to be right. And I want it quite messy, you see. I like messy circles. Not that you'd ever guess that about me, ever in a million years. That's better. I love messy circles. So I've got a messy circle, like so. I'm going to staple that in place, just so it stays put. And I've got a nice messy circle. Now if you haven't got wire, then you can use cotton. I'm going to add a bit of cotton as well, but if you haven't got wire, I just like that pop of silver, but if you haven't got wire, then you can use cotton as well. I'm going to use a bit of cotton as well to give texture anyway. And then we need to go into my cupboard now. This is where I need to move everything. So I need to go into my cupboard. And I just want to have a play with something. Got my glue gun and I've just put that on to heat. Just put that on to heat up. And I've got an extra glue stick as well. Let's just see if we can add some different texture that way. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is stamp another butterfly. I like to make it a little bit more interesting. So we've got a nice messy circle, which I absolutely love. I love the messy circle. I don't like it when it's too regimented, too tidy. Just doesn't work for me. Works differently for everybody, but I like a messy one. So what I'm going to do is do another butterfly, because I'm going to layer it up, not because I'm going to add 2 butterflies. It's because I'm going to layer it up. Just to give me more dimension on the butterfly, just so it's got more life, it's got more body. I just want to add more texture to it. It's funny, I never used to use that many blues, and now I'm using blue all the time. Isn't it funny how we all change? It's just amazes me every time. So just give that a blot. That's it. I've got the glue gun sticking to my iPad wire, which is not a good idea because we'll just end up with glue everywhere. Let's just cut down that piece of card so that we're not messing with a big piece of card. And then cut this out. So I haven't made a card for over a week for YouTube. So I thought I need to just get that sorted. And plus, sometimes I find that if I have a break, I sometimes find it harder to get going again. Whereas if I just keep creating, you know, not every day, but, you know, every week, it just keeps the creative juices flowing. But when I have a break, it takes me a bit to get going again. So just cut our butterfly out. There we go. And I think we'll have this number as well, because I do like this number. It's a lovely little embellishment piece. So we're going to have that as well. There we go. Just have that, because then I can layer 2, but I want to add a bit of texture to that heart, to that, oh dear me, butterfly heart. See, it's going to go in here. I love the texture from the wire. Let's see how, oh yeah, it's getting a bit hotter now. Let's just give it a little bit longer just so that it flows. Just get my cotton ready. You need to let your glue gun heat up a little bit just so the glue is flowing. If you don't have a hot glue gun, then just use your clear embossing powder to add some texture. I don't know whether this is going to work, but we'll see. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got a little bit of cotton as well. We're going to add cotton, so we've got that ready. Then what I'm going to do is grab my butterfly ready. Just ink it with a little bit of black ink, like so. I've got a glue stick ready, and as you know, with glue guns you always end up with a little bit of stretchy glue, so just pick that up just so it's out of the way. Now, do I want to do it on my non-stick craft sheet, or is it going to cool down too quickly? Let's do it straight on the stamp. So I'm going to take my glue gun, and now, which one do I want it on the right side? So that's this side. So I'm going to add the glue gun directly to the stamp. Now press that down so that it goes in. So I'm adding the glue directly to the stamp. Now these stamps are made with good quality photopolymer, so they can take these hot techniques. I will lift this up so you can see, because you can't see it at the moment because I'm having to let's turn the glue gun off. Now what I've got, I don't know whether you can see that, is glue. And I haven't, as you can see, I've got some indentations here. I haven't filled the whole lot. I've done it so it's quite random. But just on that wing there, just turning it round so that you can see at different angles. Can you see the glue's overflowing here? So just so that you can see that. So this part, you can see it's still wet from ink, and that you can see is shiny from the glue gun. Now that's still quite warm, so we need to let that cool down. It's just, I'm thinking of just adding a little bit of different texture to my card design, you see. So just while we wait for that to cool down, let's just move that cotton for a bit. And then what I want to do is take my reckoner digits, and let's just add some numbers, just to give a little bit more detail to our card. So I've got those reckoner digits. I'm just going to add a few numbers. If I just lift that up, you can see those numbers just there. So I'm just adding a few numbers. Just to my design, a little bit more. Just move that out the way. Just so that you can see, I've added the digits, the little number digits here and here. You can see I've added those. So let's just, this is still warm, and I can tell because I've just touched that and it's still sticky. So it's not going to peel away yet. Can you see if, look at this. Let's pick up a wipe so that we don't touch that, because it's still wetting. Can you see? It's peeling. It's peeling away. Just so that you can see that. You can see that that's peeling there, away from the stamp. And it's funny because it cleans your stamp really well. So can you see it's peeling away? There we go. So look how clean your stamp is. So we've got this little bit of texture now to our stamp. Do you see? It's very textural. It's a bit bumpy there, but you've got like a rubbery piece that's going to add texture to your card. Just makes it a little bit more interesting. So when the person that gets the card, they'll touch it and think, "Ooh, what's that?" It's thicker than clear embossing, so it adds a different texture to your, just trapping that cotton into the adhesive. So it's a little bit thicker, so it adds some texture to your design because it's thicker. Because I added it in blobs, so it's a little bit thicker. And I added, you don't have to add that black ink if you don't want. You can paint it afterwards. So what you can do is you can place the glue onto your stamp with no colour. Clean your stamp, and there's no colour, and you can paint it if you want. So you can do it that way as well. So what I'm going to do is add my butterfly just here. Now you need to make sure that that's going to grab hold. You need to hold it in place because you've got that cotton underneath, and because you've got that cotton underneath, the cotton takes on all the adhesive, and if it doesn't touch the card, then you won't get a good adhesion. Just allow that there, then take another layer, add the second layer. We can lift that, hold that in place with a pair of scissors, just lift the wings a bit. And then I've got this bit that goes straight over the wing. Super textural, that is. Just lovely. Absolutely love it. And I should be able to get away with this PVA glue. If your PVA glue isn't a good glue, then please use ultra thick gel medium. I've got a good glue. But if you haven't and it doesn't grab hold, then use ultra thick gel medium. Just clean that. Let me just show you. Look, I've got like a heart. I keep saying a heart. A butterfly with a beautiful textural wing. Oh, love it. Love the fact that this cotton is all showing and sticking out. I just love that. What I want to do is add some white splatters. Is this the one I always use? Let's use that one a bit bigger. That's better. So add your white splatters, which of course you get everywhere because that's just natural. Oh, going to add this little number as well. Just here. And then I'm going to add some white text just to lift it a little bit more. So just so that you can see what I've got so far. Just so that you can see that. And then we'll grab our Through the Meadows again. Let's see if we can use the text. You've got so many butterflies and bits of text you can use on here, so just think I'm going to just use the word butterfly. So let's put that back and just use that butterfly. Let's see what we think when we've used that. So just grab a piece of white card, which I have got here. Let's not waste any. Take that butterfly. Ink that up. I think the white text will look nice. Not the white text, the actual white card will look nice. Let's just give that a blot just to make sure that we're not going to smudge that. And then cut that out. I always use a big pair of scissors if I'm cutting out a sentiment, just because I can do one cut quite easily. I think I've used most of that card now. I do love the pops of white. I also like peeling glue off my non-stick craft sheet. I know, I'm a bit strange, but hey ho. So I'm going to add the word butterfly here. It's stuck to my finger because I've got those strings of glue. I just love that pop of white. Just there. And then I'm thinking, do I want a bit more? So what I do is I can take Common in Woods. Let's stamp it out and then we can have a look. Love having a little play just to see what I think. I think I need another piece of card. So again, using that black Nocturne ink. Like so. Just grab that. Sorry about my arm straight across camera. I'm good like that. Do I want to make that a bit thinner? Nothing like being fussy, is there? Common in Woods, and then the word Meadows. I can play around with it a bit. Meadows. And you know I've got a bad habit of reading out every word. You know that by now. When I stamp a word, I have to read it out, even though you can see what it says. We've all got our quirky habits, haven't we? It's just that I've got more than most. Put that out. Chuck that on the floor. I need to tidy my craft room. Don't know about my garden being tidied. I need my craft room to be tidied. There we go. Just move that out of the way. I do like the white text. Just makes everything pop. And it always looks totally different when you've matted and layered it. I always think it looks so much more professional when you've mat and layered, which we shall do. So let's just grab a pen nib. Have I got a silver one? Oh, I cannot pick these pen nibs up fit. My nails are too long. Got a silver pen nib. Just add a lump of adhesive. Just drop it on your card. Just what you want is just drop it on your card. Ah dear, at least you know it's real life. So I'm just picking up the adhesive. I've just dropped because I'm good like that. So I'm just picking it up with a piece of kitchen roll. There we go, all gone. You'd never know. Between me and you, you didn't know that I dropped that. It's because my nails are too long. And the other lesson in that is don't do anything over your card. Always do it outside your card. I've got that many things on my finger. And you will also know from Tracy that I do faff a little bit. So just so you, let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's just pick that up. That's better, so that you can see. Oh, I love the texture on the butterfly. So I'm now going to, even though I've just stuck that all on, I'm going to attempt to stick it on a black mat. Obviously, when you're creating it, you will make sure that everything's dry. You won't be trying to do what I'm doing. So we're going to add that to a black mat. And I always find that if I stand up when I'm doing my mats and layers, I can actually see better just where I'm putting everything. That's better. Move this all out of the way. And then I'm going to add that to a white card. And obviously I can't tip my card up because I've got that pen nib on that isn't anywhere near dry. Put it on a white card and that will make it pop even more. Like so. Just allow that to rest on there. And that is not in the right place. That's better. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of white acrylic. Just a little bit. A little bit. That was more than a little bit. And I'm just going to add a couple of little touches of white acrylic just to make it pop a little bit more. That's better. The white acrylic just makes it pop. Or you could do a little bit of white mark making if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. And just so you can see, this is our card finished. My hand is covered in bits, but I've got texture, I've got layers, I've got that glue. I love these little bits here that bob out. Oh, that makes me happy. And just so you can see, I've got that beautiful stamp in the background that adds that detail and also changes the butterfly stamp. So the butterfly doesn't have to have the same background that it's got in the A4 stamp set. But there you go. So I'll just place that down there so you can take a look at that. And I just love how that's turned out. And it's got me going again, so that I'm in the mood for creating. But I've got that garden to do first, a week's worth of gardening. So I hope you all have a lovely week. I hope you all keeping well. Love to all. And thank you very much, everybody, to those of you that have subscribed to my YouTube channel and those of you that have joined my pre-recorded workshops. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for all of your support. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.